I'm just saying. The money will run out, and then you won't know what to value. You won't have anything within yourself to value. That's my opinion. Know the people. I saw that fucking fire pile right in the middle of the sidewalk. I know it's not. I'm not getting paid. It's not my job to do it. I'm not trying to fucking. I just thought about old people in wheelchairs. Last night, this is where we saw protesters outside. We had still have a sign out here on the wall, the police station. We were posted up last night up on the second floor, and quite a few people were pretty upset about that online, social media. A few people came up, spotters. You might remember the spotters. Yeah, well, as somebody who's born and raised, again, is it really, do I care about the city, or do I care about the community and like maybe people in it? That's it. Do I care any more than I should? Do I care specifically about the city, or that the government structure? Like I was asking the woman before, does it really matter what we call it?
All right, hey, I'm going to come back later if anything else is popping off, but I'm seeing nothing else. There's a good football game on TV right now.
I care about the old people that are going to drive by, roll by with their wheelchairs.
The only other streams I'm seeing are rodeos and stuff like that, so we might as well. This guy's link at the end of the last stream before my computer freaked out and froze on me and shut down. But I'm gonna go watch this football game. I'm gonna, eat some dinner and get settled in, have a couple drinks, and then if anything pops off for tonight, we'll come back. But this is Son of a High Tower. Hey, obviously, stick with us later and subscribe if you check this out.
Can I ask you a question?
For more protest coverage.
Can I ask you a question? It's about your statements on the war on police and how you felt like you were being hunted. Sergeant Wiley, you had said that you guys went to encryption because you guys were being hunted. Is that right? I was wondering if you wanted to expand on your comments. Why? Because I would like to know if you are being hunted and who's hunting you.
Yeah, what happened? Their houses.
By who? And so, through the dispatch, they've been able to get your personal home addresses?
We don't know where they're coming in.
Well, the question is why would they have encrypted, calls, radio calls? Because people show up at your home? That doesn't make sense.
At our calls.
People show up at your calls?
Yeah.
Don't they have a right to observe you in your duty?
I don't have a problem with that.
Then why encrypt the calls then? They want to attack you? Who wants to attack you? Well, how many people have attacked you this year? Well, you had used the term war on police. And from what I understand, or what a soldier might say, is war is defined and won by a body count. And so what's the body count if there is a war on the police? How many people have killed Portland police officers today? How many people have been, how many Portland... Well, I saw what happened last week. Some officers were shot at, right? Some officers were shot, but they were shot at while the radio calls were encrypted.
Okay, we'll leave it up. Fuck it. I'll leave it up. This guy is a fucking.
Was following and hunting the Portland police?
Multiple people do.
Hunting you guys at your calls?
Yes.
As someone who filmed the police and would respond to these calls, you're not referring to me in any way, are you? You're not talking about me, right?
I'm not talking about you.
Okay, well, there was a public safety alert with my few years.
Yeah.
Was there an impression that I had that I was?
Yeah, we back.
An impression that I was hunting you?
At the time,
Why would I have been considered dangerous? Because of the way I was acting? Thank you very much for your time, Wiley. Is that sergeant or?
Sergeant, yes.
Are you on your way to lieutenant?
I just became sergeant, so.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I just
What a
wanted
dick.
I wanted to know because, again, I want to get behind the understanding of what the leadership here in this is because, again, you just told fight as dangerous. And am I not identified as dangerous any longer? Not right now?
I feel like every time you show up, you don't know what to do.
What did I do that might have been dangerous?
At the time, all I know is there was a flyer about you, so I don't know the specifics.
All you know is that there was a flyer about me.
I can't tell you the specifics.
And maybe was the word that I was hunting you guys down? Because, again, I was responding to your police calls. And so when you said that...
I don't believe the term was hunting, no.
What's that?
You were just identified as dangerous at the time.
I was just a risk at the time?
Yeah, we've never said that you were hitting us. So if that's what your concern is that what your question is?
No, my question is, it refers back to the encryption of the police calls.
Okay,
And you saying that
right.
they were
We're not gonna
encrypted
tell
because they were hunted.
Everything about what happened behind the scenes here. This is
Well, maybe you should. I mean, you would get public sentiment or maybe support if you guys were legitimately being hunted.
maybe
Not,
so,
but what you guys did to me, what you did to me and said about me backfired in your face, and Daniel Outlaw ended up giving me a $100 check for my legal fees and took off to Philadelphia in the middle of the night.
okay.
I mean, what did that do for the city?
Okay.
What did that do for the Portland Police Bureau? How many resources were out there? And so again, you being a member of the leadership,
You're asking me about what other people did, okay? So I can't answer.
other people did to give you the perception that I was dangerous.
Okay, and I'm having a normal conversation with you. I'm not freaked out by you. I'm
Okay.
not addressing you as a dangerous person right now.
And I appreciate you having this conversation.
All of the undercover stuff that goes on when you haven't always historically been pro-police, and I know
Well, it seems like the undercover stuff is kind of shady.
would be to share
And there's no way there's
good
transparency.
information about us, because it doesn't seem like
If there's transparency in the police calls,
so.
I mean, it only helps you, right? If there's transparency.
Not necessarily. Not if we're giving out personal information or better.
But they're
ways
not giving
to
out
track it.
officer personal information and home addresses and whatnot.
But you're young, aren't you?
Sergeant, don't you want people to know who you are?
Not particularly.
Do you have any
not
stickers?
like doxing us.
Do you have any stickers for kids?
Yeah.
So you want the kids to know who you are, but you don't want the grown-ups to know who you are?
I don't have a problem with people on the street. I mean,
You're concerning that I'm
knowing who I
doxing
am.
you?
I'm not you.
But you just use the
Other
term
people watching
dox.
this.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, other people watching, not you. I didn't say you. You
Well,
don't
I was just wondering. I just want to see the radio calls become available for the public again, because I believe that the narrative and that you guys are in danger is really just hype.
It's not.
And not only that, not only do I believe it's hype, it's also manufactured lies. And I've got court transcripts to document it,
This part
and
I'm
a
not gonna-
panel of 7
Okay.
impartial judges at the to look at the facts.
We're not going to agree.
Not the
on
media
this.
information. Yeah?
Okay. Clearly.
You know, I mean, right? I want you to protect the community because that's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? So I just moved some trash over there in the middle of the street from a fire pile that had been there all day, right in the middle of the street. I know no one did that, possibly because maybe it's not your job. That maybe that mentality is something that you have to, because otherwise people are going to hate you for your job, right? Not me. But I mean, I'm just saying, you draw that line like, if people are upset in the police in Wisconsin because they stood down and a young 17-year-old was in a position to have to protect minority-owned businesses.
I'm not going to.
The politics are crazy. And all I'm saying is that transparency helps.
Yeah. Okay. And I agree. I agree with most things. I absolutely think we should be transparent. But when I think it comes to personal information or situations where officers may be in danger, we need to protect.
Could you say that just for the chat? Because they really want to know.
Okay. No, I'm not going to.
Would you? Would you? Say it for the chat? Okay. Thank you very much, officer. Have a good night. There's some questions I had an opportunity to. I just want to get in the head of understanding of who's in charge of things, Last thing we really need is a bunch of Karens and Kens, running around with a motto saying protect and serve, and really they're not. And in reality, they just like live in fear and terror of the public. Fuck. This gimbal's having... Oh, I gotta charge it this way.